Hey everyone, welcome back. It is officially 2022 in the new year, hoping this is a better year. Last year was pretty rough. Sorry I didn't do any videos the last couple weeks. I just got overwhelmed with my day job, which is I'm a hairdresser, so lots of people to get in. Today I'm going to be working on a 12 by 24 canvas. It's a gallery wrap. So I'm just going to lay down my black. This is black oxide by Color Place. You can get that at Walmart. Just going to make sure. I'm almost out, actually. I need to go buy some more. Yeah, I just picked that up at Walmart, Color Place. So let's get this spread. I'm going to be doing a swipe, a bloom swipe. I'm kind of obsessed with black and pink. And I bought some Amsterdam primary magenta and I made a cell activator out of it. So I want to play with that. I'm just spreading out here. I do want to make sure that my sides get covered because it makes a difference with the drips. I don't know why I'm doing this with the stirring stick, but it was close by, so let's just go with it. Yes, I hope you guys had a good holidays and good Christmas and New Year's, and here we are in the new year. Can't believe it's 2022 already. It's crazy. All right, usually I have this done. So fast forward if you're getting bored. I'm just getting the sides, make sure the sides are covered. I've learned that lesson the hard way. I've done them where I didn't cover the sides, and especially with a swipe, when you get your drips going, it really helps the drips come down if there's something to slide on. So I advise, which I think most people who pour do. This is a bloom swipe, which means I've mixed all my colors with house paint, a base 3. Get rid of this bucket here. Base 3, which means that there is no pigment in that paint. It is just like a clear. So when you mix your pigments up into that, which is what I use, they're going to look lighter when you first mix them. That's just the way it goes with the base 3 and the pigments. Don't worry about that because it does dry clear. So it will be fine. All right, another thing when you're doing a bloom swipe is make sure you don't have too much paint on the canvas. You don't want it to be like a regular bloom. So get off some of that extra paint. And that way too, you're really making sure those sides are getting enough paint on them to be nice and slippery. All right. I think we're good. I feel like I'm icing a cake right now. Kind of the same thing, huh? Okay, we got our base down. Like I said, I'm obsessed with pink and black. I did a practice piece here because I wanted to see how I like the magenta, and actually I like it really well. Almost better than the black side, but the black side is cool because I'm going to layer out my paints a little bit differently with the black side because it didn't really The cells didn't come through enough, but the pink really shows off the colors I'm using. All right, so my colors are, I'm just going to tell you as I go. I'm going to start off with, this is Plum Preserves, and that is by Alchemy. I did a video where I mixed all the Alchemy and the Arteza paints, and I'm just trying to go down the center of this. I'll go back. All right, so that was Plum Preserves. Then I'm going to use some of this Vintage Rose, which is another Art Alchemy. I got some new colors from Little Piggy colors. So this is Watermelon. I'm really excited to use those. I took some of my Christmas money and bought some pigments I've been putting off. Fluidartco.com is where you can get those. All right, then I'm going to go in with some of this macaw, which is a TLP, and it has a color shift to it. It's kind of, what I'm seeing is kind of a bluish purple. Okay, and I don't know if you can see, but when I get to the ends and start off on the ends, I'm going over the edge with that color. The reason for that is when you start tilting this, I only want to have to tilt this way and this way. So I'm going to make sure I swipe all the way out to the sides, and I don't want to have to swipe or tilt this way. Because I don't like the way it distorts the cells. So that's just my thing. All right, this color is Romance Pink. It's another AA color. All right. And then my last color is Bubble Bath by Arteza. And this one has a pink interference to it. Okay, I'm not going to go back over that one because I put a pretty thick line down. So, all right. My colors I'm going to swipe with today are, I'm going to go ahead and use the magenta first. It's called Primary Magenta by Amsterdam. Both my swipe colors are Amsterdam. I feel like you can swipe with other colors, but I just really feel like they do the cells really well. The other thing I'm doing a little differently today is because I wanted a wider swiping tool. So I'm using my Christmas cards. I'm going to see how those do. What I did was cut the backs off, and that way I can save the top of the card. And a lot of the top of the cards have stuff on them, or they're embossed, and you don't want that. You want a smooth edge. I'm using the edge that I didn't cut, the edge that's from the factory. So I'm going to use that edge, and I'm going to use the back because it's, well, first of all, this had tape on it. So when I pulled the tape off, it took part of that with it. So I'm just going to use the shiny side, back side. So I'm just going to dip. I'll show you. I've got it on a paper plate. So I'm just going to dip that card in there. Okay. Make sure you get all the way to the edges. And that's it. Pretty simple. When I swipe, I use both my hands and put it down in the center of that. And I'm all the way out to the edge. I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure because with these paints, they are thicker. So you need to have a little bit of pressure when you're pulling down, because you want to pull that color down. Okay. Let's go back in. I don't know how many swipes I'm going to get out of these cards, but we'll just keep going and see. Okay, I'm overlapping a little bit. Pull slow and try to keep the pressure the same all the way down. My cell activator is mixed with Australian floetrol, and it is mixed about 3 to 1. I like them a little bit thicker. If I want more lacing, then I add a little bit more floetrol. The thicker will get you more cells, and the cells will stay better. All right. I'm doing okay on this same card, so it seems to be working well. All right. I've got my paper towel set up over here so I can wipe off that extra. And just one more. And that's what I like too about the bigger swiping surface of this card, is this is a pretty large canvas, so it's nice to be able to just be able to do 4 swipes. Okay. Those are selling up nicely. See how I put my hands on top of that card? That just gives me a little bit more control when I'm pulling down. Okay, that's the end of the pink. I'm going to flip this canvas over because I like to swipe towards me. So let's do that very carefully. All right. Make sure I've got you back in frame. Looks good. I will give you guys a close-up too when we're done. Okay, I'm also going to switch out my plates. And I'm going to flip my paper towel so that I can swipe. Oops, and I got an edge over here that wasn't covered. Okay, now we're going to go in with the black cell activator. I've got a little bit of a line here. I'll probably go back through that too. Okay, black. So don't be afraid to mix up your cell activators. Just gives you, this whole side was not covered. Why didn't you guys tell me that? One of these days I'll do a live so that you can tell me that. What was I saying? I don't even remember now. All right, that other side is really selling up beautiful. Okay, next Christmas card. I'm actually doing one that doesn't have, or I'm using the front of it. I mean, not the front of it, the front of the card. I don't know how that happened, but it just did. Okay, so I've got my black down. Okay, yeah, that card got bendy really fast. So some of your cards are going to be good and some of them aren't. You're just going to have to play with them. Oh, and see, that's why I like using the different cell activators, because look at that contrast you get. That is awesome. And you can't really see it yet, but the black on black cell action that happens is just really cool. I just love it. I didn't like that card either. So yeah, all these cards are not created equal. You're just going to have to play with them. But I still do like the coverage that you get. And you're recycling. So there you go. I've always thought, I'm going to keep these Christmas cards because I'm going to do something with them. I never do. But hey. So I put that down, put my hands on top. Pull. Keeping even pressure. Make sure you wipe that card off between each swipe. So that you have you're not mixing house paint with your house paint. No, you're not mixing house paint with your cell activator. You don't want to do that. Okie doke. One more swipe and then we'll start playing. Got to go back in on some of those areas. All right. I'm going to cut up some of these cards just for smaller areas. I want to make sure that my sides are good and covered. Yeah, and I want to make sure that like this line, I'm going to get that line right now. I think I want to go smaller. So I'm just dipping my card. Cut a smaller piece, dipping that. And then we're just going to go back in and swipe. My side's pretty well covered. I'm going to go back over these two just in case when I tilt I don't get that side. I don't want that edge showing there. So I've learned my lesson with these. Even though some of those might come off of there, just be sure. It doesn't hurt to go back in. And just make sure you're getting that side covered. All right. Oh, pretty. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Those interference colors, which is what I have left in the middle here, they will pop up when they dry. You'll see the shimmer and shine from them. And the interference. Interference means that there's a color shifting property to them. So I'm going to take my skewer. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to take my... I really prefer... Oh, I almost fell. Tripped over my chair. I really prefer paintbrush ends when you're working on a canvas. The skewers work great on tile, but when you're working on a canvas, paintbrush end works better. It is smoother. Oh, before I forget, this is what I did that last time. Tilt first. That is my rule of thumb. So we're just going to give this a tilt. Open up those cells, get some of that paint off. Okay. I'm going to go back this way. The reason I say to tilt first before you start wrecking, again, my personal preference, but I don't like wonky swirls. I like my swirls to be nice and neat, and you will get that if you tilt first or spin first. Okay, I'm going to get that white line back to the center. Straighten out my cells. Close as I can get to the center. I think that's good. All right. Now we can do the magic. I'm going to do a little bit more wrecking today than I normally do. And I'm going to go bigger with my swirls. So there is no rhyme or reason when I'm swirling. I just kind of go with it. When you're swirling a center, be really careful when you pull up because you got all that paint on that paintbrush. So you don't want to, trail that over your whole painting, especially if you have some white going on in there. Oh, that is really pretty. See how that just makes magic happen? Okay. Very pretty. Wait till I show you this lacing that's going on down here in this black. I mean, this is dramatic too. Really pretty. I love that magenta cell activator. Really nice. Not crazy about these cells down here. So I'm just going to use my brush to kind of break them up a little bit. Going to add a little bit of a swirl here, incorporate it back into the design. Just look for areas that could use a little bit of finesse. I like swirls, but I don't like too many of them. So I just pick and choose some here, just to make it kind of cohesive and have a balance to it. I'm going to break up these cells a little bit here. I'm going to use my skewer because I'm just going to use the pointy end here to break up some of these smaller cells. These kind of remind me of feathers, When I pull them down like that, they look like feathers. Just those little details that make such a difference. Got some bubbles. I don't normally torch these. House paint does not like torching very much. And before I go in, I always think about where I'm going to pull down to. Like these cells here, I want to break those up a little bit. So have a plan for where you're going. Oh my goodness, this is really pretty. And this will be for sale. So if anybody's interested, I will resin it. They usually go for about 150 to 200, just depending on what I do to them. So not too bad of a price, I don't think. All right, do I stop? Do I continue? What do I do? I'm not happy with this line. See, this is the perfectionist in me. That line is not good there. Oh, and I just dribbled, which I hate. No dribbling allowed. So we have to re-swirl. Just be patient. Yeah, I did it again. That's what I mean, that to be really careful with that paint. There's a lot of paint in this middle, but it should dry fine. I haven't had an issue with it, so. Okay. How does it look? Oh, looks good. Got a terrible glare over here. Sorry about that. I don't know where that's coming from, that glare right there. I'll fix it. All right, guys, I'm gonna put you on pause and bring you down for a close-up. Okay, here's your close-up. Those are the cells I was talking about. And that's just from the black cell activator and the black house paint. And all of these colors, except for the magenta, except for the cell activators, have, I got to get rid of that big cell there, have metallic in them and iridescent interference. So they will shimmer and shine when I get it done, when it's dried. Having trouble talking today. This magenta looks red in this camera right now. It's really not, it's pink. Look at all that lacing. And some of that plum preserves is underneath there. And again, when that one dries, it's super metallic. It is so pretty. Got some cell and cell action going on there. I love those stretched out cells down there too. And as you can see, all of that went all the way out to the edge. So it stretched out all the way out to the edge. So there was no having to fill in those edges. So do yourself a favor. Swipe all the way out to your edge. So there she is. Let me know if you're interested in purchasing. Just leave me an email. I'll leave my email address, and I'll leave all the information in the description box too for the colors and my recipe. So you guys take care. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.